Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those from the greater SCP Foundation community. Welcome to another anomalous broadcast from Site 42. This time, a field mission with Dr. Sherman on the last day of METROCON 2025. Opening up Scarlet Fox, Junior Researcher America, Chaos Goblin Dogs. Thank you for being members. Welcome to chat. CJ, Voice of the Wolf. Hold on just one moment. Isabella Hazard, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for just being you. As always, I am here to educate you all about the SCP Foundation, whether it be the anomalies that we contain, the groups of interest who hate that we do the containing, the fantastic staff, non-anomalous or anomalous as they may be, that do the containing, and of course, hypothetical containers that are in the general, let's say, not the SCP Foundation fandom for short. Now, as you can see here, we are outside the Tampa Convention Center in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Actually, this is the best weather in a weekend that I've ever had at this convention. I only sweated 80% of my hydration away. But just as a start, I hope you guys enjoyed the panel on Friday. Whether you were there or whether you saw it recorded, I hope it was a good time. I have met so many people, SCP Foundation fans here. It is growing in number. The more we do this, the more our numbers increase. So we are having an effect. Love that for us. Descavalto Clef, you must read my lips. No sound. That is great. This is going to be very entertaining. This METROCON has been a fantastic convention to visit. And that's not just because I used to work here and therefore I am biased. It is totally that. No, it has been a great convention. Good turnout. Lots of SCP people. If you saw the stream on Friday, we probably had about 85-ish people at the SCP panel. And so the more we have that, the better our chances for all the things we want to do when it comes to SCP films and games. The more people we can drag into this fandom kicking and screaming, the more people get hyper-fixated on us, the better our odds of rivaling Netflix and Amazon with our indie film cred. We will be the next A24 one way or another. I would give you a super chat, but I'm broke. Well, your bestie is a murderer. No big deal, because I still check the chats always. Oh, remember, when I'm in the field, by the way, donations of less than $5 don't show up on this menu. I have to go to another chat. So let me know if I miss a donation. I'm going to do my best out here in the field. But remember, every D&D party has to have multiple classes. You've got to have your cleric, you've got to have your fighter, you've got to have your thief, all that good stuff. So we as a community need, yes, the people who have the money. The money is important, it's a resource. But so is attention. So is commenters and chatters and hitting the like button. These are things that cause people to get into the algorithm that get us. So it can't just be the money people. Other than money people, we live in capitalism, it is a problem. And they are very important. Don't get me wrong. But the chatters are legion, and they are just as important. We stay in the algorithm, we stay relevant, that's how we get more people. So you guys are just as important, Broke Gang. Trust me. Broke Gang is a lifestyle I am not unfamiliar with. I am an artist. It is hard out in these streets. Hey, Dr. Sherman, are there any SCPs or sites in the Netherlands? Because I looked it up, but I didn't find anything, but I heard from it once. Maybe you can find it, please. Hazard, let's start with a simple search. So if I run to the database on my data pad, which you'll have to pardon me, it is a bit slow. Technology these days into the Foundation. You see, it's causing my music to skip because it's lagging. Love this thing. SCP Netherlands. Best of the best of the best technology at the Foundation, for sure. All right, that's certainly not doing the job. Let me try a second tactic. Wow, it just gave up on the music. So we're going to the on wiki search, and we are going to search the wiki. See, it is, you come onto the database, you press the search button, and then the search the wiki comes up. And now we type in the search right here. I'm just gonna hold it like this, it's easier. Netherlands, the land of nethers, but ignore that. SCP-4666, the Yule Man, was spotted in the Netherlands. I hate that for you guys. SCP-8001 has a mention of the Netherlands. Checking. Control F is your best friend on the SCP Wiki if you're looking for keywords like this. Netherlands. There are examples of 17th century Spanish and 5th century Chinese influences, as well as more modern... Okay, so that's architecture from the Netherlands. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. So let's back out. That's an experiment log. The woman in the incinerator seems to live in the Netherlands. This is SCP-5616. Is this a person who used to live in the Netherlands too? Nether. Yes, this is the person who used to live in the Netherlands and now doesn't. Also doesn't count. Next up, coalition of whole lake in the Netherlands. Couldn't reverse that tragedy. Okay, here. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Please, no. Please, no. Oh, come on. I am currently annoyed in asexual. For those that are dealing with wondering my thoughts, SCP-3099 is an adults-only SCP Foundation artifact that we recovered from the Netherlands. It is a pornographic video tape. Okay. That's it. I'm done with the Netherlands. The Netherlands are done with me. You can continue your search for Netherlands on the site search like I showed you. Do your best. Because I'm out. I'm out. Doctor, are you an SCP? Intern Tanadev, I am not an SCP. You'll notice I do not have an SCP designation on the SCP Wiki, which is the first thing you check. Secondly, I am not anomalous, which one would have to be an SCP. I am just a regular, everyday human being, an SCP researcher and site director, of course, but a non-anomalous one. So is my pen. Non-anomalous. Not anomalous, not an SCP either. Just completely non-anomalous, both me and my pen, completely normal. What do you know of SCP-777? I know nothing about SCP-777, but it is quite easy to look them up on the database. The question becomes, what's on the database? Remember, for questions like this, you are also very capable, all of you, of going to the SCP database and typing in an SCP designation to look at the documentation. As long as you have the proper clearance levels and all that, of course. You would never try to go above your clearance, would you? Would you? Of course not. You're good staff members. I know that about you. SCP-777 is an area of land spanning 5 square kilometers located in the Redacted Desert, referred to locals by the Kingdom of Sand. Unidentified radio interference is present within the SCP-777, with the source currently unknown. SCP-777 demonstrates a further anomalous property when sand within the area comes into contact with any type of liquid. The moisturized sand will animate, typically taking the shape of an animal proportionate to the amount of sand moisturized. These entities will be referred to as 777-1s. So you can have, in this case, a living sand crocodile. Lovely. And of course, we have interview logs and testing logs because we are the Foundation. We are very thorough. We had a sand crab and a sand octopus. We had a African rock python made of sand. Sand animates into an unidentified mass, which demonstrates acidic qualities? Why acidic? Sand is inserted into the water tank and turned into a great white shark. I hate that for us, but I hate it more for the Shark Punching Center. Of course, they're not going to be happy if we can just animate sharks in the wild. Hey there, Dr. Sherman. Psych got your eval. Turns out some dummy sent a cognitohazard through inter-office email. It's contained, but now I'm having to write up new training protocols. That's already in the training protocols not to do that, which means it's not a dummy. It is a malicious agent. So I would like them detained and interrogated, please. That's your next mission. Thank you. Have you met SCP-343, also known as God? Praise our Lord Jesus Christ. First of all, SCP-343 is not God. It is a deluded reality bender with delusions of grandeur. It is just your friendly neighborhood reality bender, nothing more, not God. Second, which Jesus Christ is praying for us at this point, because we have 4 of them in containment to my knowledge. We are containing SCP-3305, known as Bread Jesus. We have SCP-029-J, known as Uber Driver Jesus. We have SCP-5991, known as Vor Jesus. And then we have SCP-6542, known as Milk Jesus or Jesus. These are all the Jesuses we have in containment. Which one is the real Jesus? We don't know. There's too many Jezi to count. And of course, one can't be blamed for thinking that researcher Dr. Sophia Light is Jesus I hear. But I don't count Sophia Light, Dr. Light, as a Jezi in this case, because Dr. Light is not contained. I was only talking about the Jezi that are in containment. You see, you got to keep it square. Fluffy Captain and Lemon VR and SCP-999, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Is the IKEA SCP from Sweden? I believe on the SCP database, that particular, the SCP-3008 IKEA, I think its location is redacted, which is good Because, dear God, if the author had put the location of that SCP-3008 on the wiki, they would be getting pranked forever, and they would hate us more than they already do. Because IKEA does hate us, the SCP Foundation. They do not like the idea in their marketing of being a horror destination. It's not their vibe. So, the IKEA Corporation tamps down on all SCP Foundation interests. They actually sued an SCP game about the Infinite IKEA into oblivion. So yeah, they don't like us. Be cautious with the IKEA. Their legal team is hardcore. Volk, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Is it possible to kill, cook, and eat the SCP human refuted? You're talking about SCP-3166, the chickens. And my answer for that is, while I did not believe so, the commissary has made some great strides in the cooking of anomalous meats and making them palatable to the human taste and digestive tract, which is important when you have SCP-3166, giant humanoid chickens that spawn at an uncomfortable rate. I mean, the big problem is that 3166 is not the chickens. That is Garfield. Or it's, sorry, John. It's something Garfield related. No, 3199 is the chickens. My apologies. And so we have lots of DNA. We have hunters. SCP will liquefy your organs and bone structure, which is some sort of acid that they spit into your body. It's gross. It's gross. And the smell. Oh, the smell. Ugh. But I do know that I believe it's SCP Fragmented Minds, the SCP video game that's in development, is showing some cooked SCP-3199 in their kitchens in the game. So apparently on Mars, they found a way. Card Slayer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of chicken and waffles on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, is it possible that the board from Control is the O5 Council from a fractured world caused by an SCP, and the Control universe is just a parallel version of their own? I mean, depending on your pataphysical level and narrative placement, it would not be shocking if Control, the FBC, and the SCP Wiki and the SCP Foundation contained within are parallels in one way. I mean, I wouldn't say they're exactly parallels because we do know for a fact that the FBC was based on Control. Remedy Games told us so in an interview with Kotaku. You can look that up. So we know that it's a descendant rather than a parallel, but it's parallel, it's a cousin, it's a something or other. But yes, I would not be shocked if somewhere in the multiverse the timelines diverged, and that's how we got the FBC and those the board. Bread sandwich, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some cheese for that bread sandwich on your way past the commissary. What if you showed 096 a pic of its own face? It already knows what it looks like. It's mad when people know what its face looks like. It already knows it's ugly. So it doesn't care if it knows what it looks like. It cares if you know what it looks like. And you know what happens if you look at a picture of it. So don't. Dr. Sherman, have you spoken to SCP-049? Not today. I'm at, well, I spoke to 049, or at least some iteration of 049, yesterday because, wow, there are a lot of plague doctors at this convention. I do not know people's interest with this, and it worries me, honestly. There was something on the data pad I wanted to check. What was it? Oh no, we're good here. Okay. What would happen if you got stuck in SCP-3008? Well, intern Lego, you should look at the SCP-3008 document. It lists it. But essentially, once the exit moves and you can't find it, you're stuck in an infinite IKEA. So you better forage for food, avoid the employees that want to murk you, and find a survivor village to cozy up to. Hopefully you know a trade that you can help them with. Otherwise, they might not take you in. Do you think SCP-035 can affect SCP-173? To my belief, 173 doesn't necessarily have a face. It's just a statue. And so I don't believe putting a mask on the statue would give it the same suction that would allow 135 to possess the statue. That's my at least guess. If we've tried SCP-035 on inanimate objects before, I am not familiar with it. But I can check the database and find out. White porcelain mask. Acid destroys anything, that's fine. Thankfully, glass is how we can contain it. You'll have a strong urge to put it on if you're near it. We know that. On the face of an individual. So it's a brainwave pattern. So it can't be on an inanimate object. We know that. So yes, the statue would not be affected by 035. F22 Raptor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chicken salad sandwich on your way past the commissary. Remember me, devil face, devil face, devil face. I do remember an anomalous F22 Raptor talking to us in chat before. Yes, I am familiar with this entity indeed. Dapper, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a grilled cheesus on your way past the commissary. What's the word on containing Michael/Vsauce? Do we need to? I would not think that Michael from Vsauce is anomalous in any way. We don't just contain anything. It has to be anomalous. It has to be weird. It has to be alien. It needs to break reality in some way. Michael from Vsauce is a YouTuber. I am not certain that this would be something necessary to us. Card Slayer, thank you for donating again. What would happen if we sent the Plague Doctor into the Victorian mirror from Control and it met its mimic? Well, they would probably try to do horrible science together and get a bunch of people killed, and I would not be happy with it. So no more 049s. I've already got enough 049 to deal with for a single lifetime. Bread Sandwich, thank you for donating again. Could SCP-999 be used to force SCP-096 back into docility? Also, would it be possible to use SCP-096 to ice an SCP such as the 682 incident? So, your second question I'm not quite sure of. Are you asking if we can use 096 to defeat 682? Is that what you mean by ice? And meanwhile, 999 cannot be used to bring 096 back to docility because 096 is a slime. It is 3 meters by 1 meter. It's a big slime, but it moves at a slime's pace. It's not fast unless you give it a ton of sugar and caffeine, but let's not do that. But even bouncing off the walls, 096 is much, much faster than 999. So if 096 is activated, 096 is going to into the horizon. 999 is going to not have a chance to tickle it into submission. So no, that's not a viable containment strategy. And at least if you meant can 096 stop 682 or something, we already know that 096 can't defeat 682. Therefore, it's a null game. F22 Raptor. Thank you for a ridiculously generous donation. I did remember you. I did remember your extremely generous donations. I appreciate your funding donation to the Site-42 and SCP Foundation mission. We are, in fact, going to secure, contain, and protect anomalies better with this help. So, thank you for your donations to the cause. And while I am not in the field for the next week until I return to Site 42, because I'm still traveling after this convention for a little while longer. While I'm still in the field, you have free reign of my office for your generosity. Thank you for your very generous donation. Take care of whatever's in my desk. It is yours for the week. I donated last stream. Yes, I did remember that. Yes, indeed. It's hard to forget an anomalous F-22 Raptor who donates very generously. That is quite a memorable thing, to be sure. And one more time, thank you for that. Bread Sandwich, thank you for donating again. I mean using SCP-096 for neutralization of SCPs. 096 can be used in a lot of ways, but the problem is that we don't like decommissioning SCPs or neutralizing them. We like studying them. So the likelihood of us deleting SCPs from existence is very rare. We don't like doing it. We like to study them. Rat, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Amber, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Hey, remember the floating hand spider? Yes, intern Pusheen Lover. I do remember the floating hand spider. I have to get over to the super cool petting zoo again and visit. It's been a bit. And don't forget your amethyst. Jonathan Peters, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a spicy pickle on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I found an alternate version of myself with weird blood, spirit, and fire powers. He wants to, quote, burn the world. I hate stumbling across my villainous alter egos. They're so dramatic. They just need to chill, if I'm being honest. Yeah, just call security. We'll put it in a box. Are SCP story writers anomalous themselves for creating anomalies by writing stories? Technically, if the infinite reality theory is true, then their stories and anomalies are real in other universes. That is, in fact, a likely alternate universe theory. And so, definitely to us in our universe, the authors who write us, anomalous AF, mate. They are definitely something that if we could contain them and get them to stop torturing us by making more anomalies, that'd be great. Jesus died on the cross for you. Intern Watson, which Jesus? Was it milk Jesus? Because the milk goes right through, the nails go right through the cheese of Jesus. That's not very impressive. Bread Jesus is the same, except you put the nail through the bread hand and it starts leaking wine, which gets all over the carpet and stains it. It's very frustrating. And then Uber driver Jesus, yeah, I guess, but having holes in your hands gets blood all over the steering wheel of your Uber. And of course, I don't even want to get into Vor Jesus's situation. That's a whole hot mess. So you just got to be more specific about your Jesus. That's all I'm asking for. So I don't get SCP-1730. Is it the weird straw hat entity or is the big old Site-13? 1730 is kind of more like an anomalous event than a singular anomaly, if I'm remembering how it's designated correctly. It is that SCP-1730 is the scenario surrounding Site-13, rather than simply... "1730 was a large complex of structures." Okay, so the answer to your question on the database, first line of the description. So this is why you got to read the database. The answers are in there. The answer is that Site-13 is SCP-1730. Time check, by the way. We are at the 30-minute mark, and I've got to get back in the field. The convention's not going to observe itself, so... This is the last 3 questions I will take, people. 3 questions. Data pad. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what if SCP-049 and SCP-096 were to interact with one another? Would 049 try to cure 096 of the pestilence, or would 096 attack 049 because 049 saw its face? So, basically, since we don't know, the pestilence doesn't really exist, to me anyways. 049 could 50-50 think 096 has the pestilence or not. We're not sure, and I'm not putting them together to find out. Meanwhile, if 049 saw 096's face, then yes, 096 will get mad and destroy 049, which would be frustrating because then we can't study it anymore. So we're not going to test this. But the question is, would 049 think 096 has the pestilence? And honestly, 049's death touch might work on 096. Again, not testing it, but that would be the way to do it. Also, Dr. Sherman, how can you not mention Site-42's own off-site, non-canon Clown Milk Jesus? I am heartbroken. Clown Milk Jesus isn't real. You haven't made it real. It's not canon. You chatters can have all your fun with Clown Milk Jesus. Ugh. Orange Cloud, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Mentos and Diet Cola on your way past the commissary, but don't put them together and don't eat them together, or eat and drink together. SC, which curious is Dr. Hessen's office in? I know what you're doing, Orange Cloud, and I don't like it because you're making me look up this entity to find out. Dr. Hessen's office, it's not listed in the article for SCP-179-J. So the answer is I don't know where Dr. Hessen's office is. I know Dr. Hessen has an off-site office at Site-42, which is why I have to keep dealing with it against my will. I crashed my car into a tree today, and it made a weird noise, almost like a scream. Desk, jot this down. We need Dr. Gerald to visit the site. I've got a plan. Card Slayer, thank you for donating again. Hey, Dr. Sherman, have we heard about Jesus, but how many Elvis Presleys do you have in containment? What an interesting question. Let me search the database. Elvis. $4254 is a number of incorporeal entities superficially resembling deceased musician Elvis Presley. So there's a bunch of anomalous Elvises there. Meanwhile, that looks like the main Elvis anomaly is SCP-4254, and it is a large amount of incorporeal Elvisi. So that is interesting. I didn't know about the Elvises. Thank you for the intel. All right, Site-42 staff, I got to get back to the convention. So as always, at the end of stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs. Not the ones I wrote, that would be cheating. But you can see the SCPs I did right, if you want to, on my SCP author page. It's called The Sherm's Site-42 Hub and author page. While you're there, you can become a patron if you want to donate monthly, as well as become a YouTube channel member if you want to help the cause. If you want to do a singular donation, you could do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat, especially one as generous as F22 Raptor. Gosh darn it. I hope you enjoy your stay in my office. And if you can't donate, remember, as we said at the beginning of stream, Broke Gang is still valid. We need hype men. And the Broke Gang, what you don't have in money, you have in like button use. In the algorithmic pull of your comments and chats and watching and liking and subscribing. which, congratulations, you did get more likes than viewers as well. Good job, stream. I appreciate all of you in Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Now, in no particular order, my favorite SCPs. 3999, 3043, 00-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and with a big content warning, SCP-8980. It's a rough read. Speed round 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and 8980. Content warning on the last one. Site-42 staff, as always, I have been Dr. Theron Sherman. This has been a field mission with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site-42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Allo, salut, suntiero un aiduc, si te roge urebira, mi primesta fericira. Allo, allo, suntiero, Picasso, tiandat bip, si sunt weinig, das ist dir nu der sinik. Vrese pleshe darkness time stay. Numa ye. Numa ye. Chipotao si drago starting te. Mi amnistec di ochite ye. Veka plesh dar numa ye. Numa ye. Numa ye. Chipotao si drago starting te. Mi amnistec di ochite ye.